Hey guys, Mike here, and in this clip we're going to pitch the Google Nexus 7, probably the most interesting 7-inch Android slate of the moment, to the new Apple iPad mini. From starters, you'll notice that the iPad mini is a slightly larger tablet than the Nexus, which can be an issue as these are portable slates, devices you should easily grab along when traveling. As a result, while neither can fit in your jeans pocket, the Nexus 7 could fit in your jacket's interior pocket, while the iPad will probably not. Since the iPad mini is wider than the Nexus, it's also a bit more difficult to grab with one hand, although I can do it without a problem. Besides that though, the Apple Slate is lighter and thinner, plus feels sturdier and better built. It helps that it has an aluminum body, as opposed to the plastic case on the Nexus, and the early drop tests posted online show that the mini can take the damage better than its competitor. Still, you'd better not drop either of them. Let's put the two side by side and have a look at the ports. Both feature volume rockers, power buttons, and headphone jacks. The Mini also has the screen lock latch. On the bottom, there's a standard micro USB port on the Nexus that cannot output video though, while on the iPad there's the lightning connector and the speakers. Also, on the back you'll see a 5-megapixel camera on the iPad Mini, while the Nexus lacks a rear-facing shooter, but at least both feature HD front-facing cameras for video calls. Alright, enough about the exterior, let's actually open the two tablets. There's a 7-inch screen on the Nexus and a larger 7.9-inch one on the mini iPad. That 0.9 of an inch might not sound like much, but in reality the iPad's display is about 35% larger than the one on the Google tab. Unfortunately, the resolution is poorer on the Apple Slate, only 1024 by 768 pixels as opposed to the 1280 by 800 pixels on the Nexus, which results in smoother content on the latter, visible especially when dealing with text. And while I'm disappointed with the resolution on the iPad mini, I don't think it is definitely a deal breaker. Besides that, I for one enjoy the 4x3 aspect of the iPad screen, as I tend to use my tablet a lot in portrait mode, but for watching movies, the 16:9 screen on the Nexus is probably a better fit. Let's focus a bit on the internals as well. The Nexus 7 packs a fast NVIDIA Tegra 3 hardware platform, while the iPad mini is built on an older Apple i5 processor. That allows the Nexus to outperform its rival in benchmarks. However, the everyday experience is awesome on both of these devices, and that's mainly because the operating systems are different. The iPad mini runs iOS 6 while the Nexus runs Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. As a result, navigating between menus, launching apps, performing the everyday tasks is smooth on both of them. Also, I'm going to state the obvious once again. iOS feels these days old and rugged next to Jelly Bean, with its widgets, notifications and other tweaks, but that's just the way it is. Anyway, I don't want to start a debate, but when it comes to third-party tablet apps and overall ecosystem strength, iOS wins. And all the apps and the content available in the Apple stores work just fine on the Mini. On the other hand, I do feel that out of the box, the Nexus 7 provides better default apps, especially now when you no longer have the Google Maps and YouTube apps on iOS. But when you turn towards Google Play, well, things are still a bit of a mess there. Anyway, have a look at how the two can handle the everyday activities and decide for yourself which one better fits your needs. Despite being slimmer and lighter than the Nexus 7, the iPad mini does last significantly longer on a charge, as I've been using it for 10 hours while performing a mix of casual tasks, while the Nexus died on me after about 8 hours. While watching movies, both ran for 9 plus hours though, with the iPad slightly winning once again. The Nexus does have however a higher capacity charger, so it will charge faster than the iPad. And there are a bunch of other things I could add. Both tablets are available in cellular versions, but while the iPad offers support for 4G LTE speeds, the Nexus 7 is only limited to 3G services. Also, I feel that the speakers on the Mini are slightly better than the one on the Nexus. Okay, so by now you're probably torn between the iPad mini and the Nexus 7. On one side you have the more beautiful, lighter and clearly better polished device, plus the strength of the iOS ecosystem, while on the other there's the higher resolution screen and the Google-centered experience offered by Android out of the box. The prices should help you decide, and with the Nexus 7 starting at $200 and the iPad mini at $330, in both cases for a 16GB Wi-Fi only version, well, not to mention that the 32GB 3G version of the Nexus sells for $299, which is still cheaper than the most affordable iPad. In the end, if you want a portable tablet for basic stuff like browsing, watching movies, listening to music, maybe some light games, the Nexus 7 does offer a lot more for the money. On the other hand, Apple sell their product at a premium price, but the Mini can do all the things the Nexus does and others on top. It comes with LTE connectivity, a camera on the back, a better developed collection of apps, and of course the superior looks and build quality. And while $330 for that seems a bit steep, this is still the most affordable iPad you can get and it's overall a very nice device. With that in mind, it's time to end this clip. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to share it to your friends and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, let me know in the comments down below which of the two tablets would you buy today and why. Cheers!